Hey, what is up guys, I'm Anexonel, and in this video we're going to be doing the review of the LeTV Le1. So now, let's get at it. If you guys are interested in getting this phone, well, you can head over to hunterbuy.com. I'll have the link down below. Alright, so let's start off the review with the build quality. Alright, so the sides of the phone are made out of metal, which in my opinion gives the phone a pretty nice look. The back of the phone is made out of solid plastic, not to be mistaken with glass. And the LeTV logo seems to be some kind of brushed metal. And this device also has metal buttons, which make a pretty nice touchy sound when you click on them and they never get stuck. And the front panel seems to be a full display made out of glass. And this brings me to the next point, the screen. Alright, so on this device you have a pretty bright 5.5-inch screen with a FHD 1920 by 1080p display, so it will give you the maximum viewing quality when you watch videos or when you play games. And your normal viewing angles are naturally, for sure, perfect. And now let's go ahead and do a gaming test. And now let's take a look at the user interface. Alright, so the ROM that is currently running on this phone is the EUI version 5.0.009E, which means that this is the experienced version of the ROM, not the stable version, because the previous stable version, which is maybe 2 weeks old from this video, has a lot of bugs, so I just went ahead and ran the experienced version, as I said. And EUI, just like ColorOS, is a heavily skinned version of Android, and this version of the ROM runs on Android 5.0.2, which isn't the latest version of Android, but at least it is Android Lollipop. And in my opinion, EUI is pretty similar to iOS 8 or iOS 9, and as you can see, just the camera app is a bit similar to it, as well as this current screen, as you can see, and even the calculator is pretty similar to iOS 8, except for the colors. And just by generally taking a look at the OS and like testing it by scrolling real quick, you can see that there's 0 bugs. I've seriously haven't had a single bug with the OS. And something that I really hate of the UI is the fact that there is a lot of bloatware that you don't even really need to operate the phone. And now let's take a look at the connectivity. Alright, so for the call quality, they were all perfect. I haven't had any issues and they were all crystal clear on my side as well as on the side of the receiver. And if you have a data plan in non-TD LTE countries, which mean you aren't in Asia, while this phone should support HSPA+, but sometimes, as you can see, it will go back down to 3G and bump up to HSPA+, and go back down to 3G and will be the same train again. As for the Bluetooth, I've had a couple of problems where the phone would just disconnect for no reason, but the quick fix was just to go ahead into the Bluetooth setting and re-enable the Bluetooth. And now let's take a quick look at the GPS of the phone. Alright, so the GPS on this phone didn't work straight out of the box, so I had to use GPS Fix, which gave me a fix in under a minute. And then by going into Google Maps, you can see that it is perfectly working. And now let's take a look at the battery. Alright, so one of the selling points of the phone is the fact that this device supports USB-C, so it will give you pretty fast charging. And you can also enter the connector in both ways. And if you compare the USB Type-C charger to the other charging cables that exist out there, like the Lightning connector, as well as the usual micro USB connector you'll see, it is actually a bit bigger. Alright, so charging on this phone is pretty fast. If you wanted to charge at the maximum speed, you'll need to use the included wall plug. Alright, so for those that want to know how fast the charging is, well, you can compare it to the OnePlus One. I have the wall plug on the right, and the OnePlus One charges at 0.3 amps, while the LeTV charges at 0.35 amps, so it is going to be slightly faster. And if you want to know how it compares to other charger, well, this Lightning connector charger charges at only 200 milliamps. And for battery life, in my opinion, it isn't the best. The OnePlus One definitely beats this phone in terms of battery life. As you can see, it is already 29% down with only 3 hours of use. And on the first ROM I had, when I had the battery percent enabled, it looks like it was just going downhill when I was looking at it. And now let's take a look at the camera. Alright, so these pictures were taken with the auto settings, so they are not that bad, but if you take a closer look, in my opinion, they lack of color. But for a phone of this price, it really isn't that bad. Now, I've also taken a couple of panoramic pictures and they look quite nice. Alright, so in conclusion, this phone isn't quite bad. For a phone with a resale price of $300 US, it is pretty amazing with all you get. As we did a gaming test, there weren't any bugs. The camera is pretty decent, as well as the build quality is perfect. It is amazing. The only thing that I don't like is maybe the OS, as well as the battery life, which the battery life might get a fix in the future with an update of the ROM. The screen is perfect, you have perfect viewing angles, and the videos that you watch on this phone are pretty nice. And the connectivity, which is the phone, the GPS, and the Bluetooth, are all three also pretty good. Alright, so I guess that this is it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, well, make sure you leave them down below. I'll do my best to answer them. And again, if you're interested in getting this phone, you can head over to 100byte.com. I'll have the link down below. Alright, so don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Anexonel HPLE and on Instagram at Anexonel. I also have a Facebook page. I'll have the link down below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe because it really helps out. I'll be notified as soon as I release a new video. And again, I guess that this is it. Peace.